All right, so in this video, we're going to be doing a guided notes on data displays. So I'd like you to please write down right at the start, we can display data in different ways appropriate to the situation. So in this one, we are going to explore some of the traditional ways that we can display data. But it's important to note that in the 21st century, and the widespread usage of the internet, there are so many more ways that you can display data visually that go outside and beyond these traditional ways. So you are going to also see data displayed creatively in things like infographics. And you are also going to see data displayed visually in things called data visualizations. So data visualizations are often like animated, or maybe they're a map that's interactive, or just really creative, unique ways of displaying the data outside of these traditional methods. And then infographics is where they take a lot of information, putting it in graphical form, and then putting them all together. So these might be components within an infographic. And I'll show you what some of those look like later. But let's look at the traditional ones to start. Okay, so the first thing we have here, what does this look like? Well, what is it? It's a bar graph, and I'm sure you've seen these lots of times before. So this is a bar graph. This is what it looks like. What does it do? Okay, so a bar graph shows data comparison across categories. Categories. So I might ask the students, what's your favorite color? And then 5 people vote blue, and 4 people vote green, and then 7 people vote red, and then 2 people vote yellow, or whatever. I might display that information in a bar graph. All right, so the next type of graph is a circle graph. You, of course, have probably also heard it called a pie chart. Either one is fine. And what is the purpose of a pie graph? What does it do? Or a circled graph? It is going to show data as parts of a whole. And I'm going to put percent here because oftentimes it is presented as a percentage. So if I were to do that survey of students of what's your favorite color, I could say of all of cohort 3, 30% said their favorite color was green, 25% said their favorite color was yellow, 20% of the students said their favorite color was blue, and so on and so forth. So it's showing the data as part of the whole. The next type of graph we have is called a line graph. Now, this graph shows data changes over time. Shows how data changes over time. So we might have time being on the x-axis, so going this way, and then let's say the cost of milk or something would be on the y-axis. So we could say in the year 2020, this is how the price of milk has changed over time. So in January, it was at $1.50 a gallon, and then by March it had shot up to be $3 a gallon, and then it dropped back down by June and it was 99 cents a gallon, and so forth. So it shows something and how it changes over time. All right, the next type of graph we have is called a pictograph. And a pictograph simply shows data using pictures. So in this case, for the example we have here, like let's say we were to have how many birds are in a tree or something, and you're collecting data on birds in a tree. We could say this is tree A, tree B, tree C, and tree D, and each one of those birds represents 3 actual birds, let's say. So Tree A would have 3, 6, 9 birds. Tree B had 3 birds. Tree C had 3, 6 birds. Tree D had 3, 6, and then a third of the bird. So let's say that is another 1 bird. So that would have 7 birds in tree D. And it's just a way to represent the data with pictures. All right, the next type of graph we have